Hi Libra, welcome to the first half of January 2017 General Tarot Reading. It's Rena here. Before I begin, I just want to say a couple of things. I want to apologize for an oversight. I did not post a video for the end of December, general reading like this one. Somebody asked me about that, and I saw, I did not do that. I remember recording some that didn't show up. So it's possible that it was on another memory card that got corrupted or something along those lines. I really feel like I did it, but whatever happened, if it didn't get put up there, if I did not do it, I do apologize. I'm just doing the January ones because we're almost into January, so there's no sense of going and doing the end of December right now. The other thing I want to just kind of clarify, as I've been doing in my other general tarot readings, is what these readings are about. These are general readings, but even in private readings, regardless if we're talking about astrology or the tarot, I thought long and hard before I started to even do readings, because the last thing that I want to do is to kind of promote this idea that you should rely on a tarot reader, a psychic, anyone to kind of tell you what choices to make in your life. I think that is extremely risky, and it's kind of like abdicating your responsibility as a sovereign soul. So just consider that. If you're somebody who likes to go to psychics, that's cool. That may be like something that just really interests you. And when I say psychics, I don't call myself a psychic. But I'm including the readers and even astrologers, people who are using divination tools, okay? Or who have it inherently within themselves that they channel or whatever they do. Just remember that you give away your power if if what they say overrides what you really feel. And also it kind of keeps like reinforcing this idea that somehow somebody else knows better than you what to do about your own life. And they really don't. I don't feel that they do. Now, sometimes we are confused because we're very emotional, and maybe we want that kind of person who doesn't know us, or who, isn't invested in the situation, to give a second opinion. But it's still just an opinion, remember that. And none of us, let me just say, I don't know your personal life. So I only know what people tell me about their lives. And sometimes they leave certain things out. So it's not really any opinions that I give are based on what I know and based on my own conditioning and my own my own preferences too. And I don't claim to be some all-knowing seer. I just believe that these are tools that are symbolic, and they can help us to frame our lives in more philosophical ways, rather than just, the day-to-day mundane, quote-unquote practical way of looking at life. These are, a very abstract and thought-provoking. The cards can be very stimulating to your mind. So just look at it in those terms. And then with the monthly forecast, I still get people who are saying, "Nope, you're wrong. I'm not even married, and you said, and all these things." And so it's just, it goes without saying, but I still have to say it. Let's put it that way. Okay, and I'm also going to be picking a card from this deck. The only thing I have to do is remember to actually tell you what card it is, because I've been not doing that with a couple of readings, and then we'll be fine. Okay, so now that that's over with, that card again. Six of Cups. All right. Okay, so the overall theme is the Hermit card, just kind of like what I was just talking about, like seeking your own wisdom, the inner light. You know, Libra is a social sign. Yes, of course, there are going to be Librans that are more social than others. If you have a sun in the 12th house, you're going to be more retiring. But whatever is the situation, I'm really hoarse, but I don't like to clear my voice on, clear my throat on camera. But so anyway, when you get a card like this, it's asking you to seek your own counsel. So this means that you're not calling your best friend on the phone and telling them about the issue, whatever the issue is. And you know, these are general readings, so this could be a relationship, or it could be your business. And you know, even with career matters, people, you know, ask their friends and family, oh yeah, I don't know what I should do. And these people will tell you things. They'll give you advice. You know, people love to give advice. But it's based on their own values and their mentality. So if they're the type of people who are afraid of, oh my God, you know, you never know when disaster is going to hit. And you have to have a very stable job, whatever it is, even if you don't like it, and especially in this economy, boy, you really have to have this, then you may get influenced by that. And Libra, you are a sign that tends to be easily influenced by other people. Sometimes I dislike broad brush comments, because there'll always be people who say, I'm not like that, and things like that. And the reason I do get so, I put people into boxes, is because they're archetypes. You know, there are certain archetypes, there's certain personality templates that each sign has. And it actually is quite, I feel it's quite accurate many times. And for Libra, your whole way of approaching life is in a partnership. That's, you know, the 7th house. That's what you rule. So you're not somebody who likes to go it alone. Being a hermit is not your cup of tea. But when you're not alone, then you're more subject to the influence of other people. But if you can't stand to be alone, then you can't stand to learn what makes you tick and how that differs from other people. So it can be over a relationship, and it can be over some kind of professional choice, maybe that you need to make. But you may be tempted because of money. You know, this is the higher message, is that you're really holding on tight to the money. Now, this could be, sometimes this can indicate somebody who's really good at handling money, but sometimes it can indicate that you're holding on too tight. The number 4 is about stability and building foundations. So for some people, it might be a means to an end. If there's something that you're doing and you can tolerate it, it's not horrific, you might do it for 6 months, a year, to build up your bank account. Something pragmatic. Maybe it's in banking, something along those lines, and you really are more of an intellectual person or a creative person. And so that's kind of clashing with what you are all about. In the recent past, we have the Knight of Swords. This could be a person that you were dealing with. Now, in terms of the different elements, this could be a fellow air sign. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the knights, I always associate the knights with like Aries, just because they're warlike, and they are also, the Knight of Swords is somebody who kind of is very blunt. And so it could be somebody who's an Aries and they also have air, so they are intellectually based. Maybe they have a sharp tongue. Maybe they have Gemini, so they just are kind of snarky, sarcastic, kind of an individual. This kind of person may have been in your past. Now, interestingly, if this is like a relationship, this is in your past, and maybe there's a Virgo person right now. Virgo is a sign adjacent to you. And I do know a couple where one is a Virgo and one is a Libra. But if that's the case, it's funny. The higher message is that the Virgo person, because that's Earth, is the person that is going to be the stable influence. The other person is exciting, but the Virgo person is, maybe somebody that you can have a family with, or if you're older, somebody that is going to be more of a calming influence. The Knight of Swords can be kind of a chaotic influence. But some people like chaos. That's the truth. And what comes in is the Hierophant. Now, that's interesting. The Hierophant represents Taurus. So, I don't know if that's connected to the higher perspective. Taurus and Libra, I don't know. I don't know if that would work out very well. Taurus is a pretty basic sign, and it's an earth sign. At least Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so there's an intellectual connection. With Taurus, it could be that the person is very good looking, and a Libra person would, be attracted to their looks. Or maybe the financial wherewithal, that the person, that you both share a love of luxury. That could be an indulgence, where the Taurus comes in. But the Hierophant is also about the higher, a sense of higher purpose and higher values. And, just a philosophical perspective. So it could be for some of you that for some reason, you're being asked to look at your situation in a higher perspective. So again, with career, it's about doing what you love and not being so obsessed with the money. And it's hard because Librans love pretty things. So you may be a very free spender, and that may be causing you to be a little bit torn between those two areas. The card that crosses you is the Ten of Swords. Now, the challenge of the Ten of Swords in the challenge position is accepting that something is over with. Now, it could be that this person, if this is a person with a dominant air in their chart, is somebody who, now again, that doesn't have to be an air sign. It could just be that they have that. One thing is, regardless of what their sun sign is, if they have a lot of air in their chart, there can be a certain callousness because air is detached. And so sometimes, that's what I was saying about the Knight of Swords. Somebody could say something and not even feel like, they don't even care if they hurt somebody. And the same with that card. When I'm talking about the Ten of Swords, this person may be still harassing you or trying to get into your life if you've split up with them. Or if you're with them, you may be afraid to leave. That may be kind of like why you get the Hermit card, because you're trying to like break away from that person and be alone more, but you still haven't made the move, and so that's the challenge is, accepting that this is, not a good situation. The advice is the Six of Cups. In this position as advice, whether it's business or pleasure, the card that I keep drawing is reminding us about simplicity and innocence in a world that where we don't have too much of either. And, you know, if you go to YouTube, you'll see a lot of minimalism videos. I think that you could probably really launch a great YouTube channel if you type in some of those keywords and make a video out of it. But this is like, you know, and before that, we called it voluntary simplicity. And it's about, and I feel like I'm part of that as well, although I've got a lot of stuff that I need to get rid of. It's really about just living a life that is not really based on materialism, but is based on things. You see this as cups, right? And so cups relate to soul-centered activities, soul-centered love, soul-centered things, soul-centered business, things that you want to do, not things that you feel, okay, I'm going to sacrifice my happiness so that I can have, I'm going to be with this person because, boy, they really make a lot of money, or I'm going to have this job because it makes a lot of money. Those kind of things are very tempting because we live in a very materialistic society, especially if you live in the United States or probably the Western world, you know, developed countries. And now we have even China and India, because their economies are growing, where people are starting to have more disposable money. So they're starting to, and these were the countries that we associate with the spiritual, were so influenced by, you know, India and China in terms of, you know, philosophy, because, you know, they were about other things. So the Six of Cups is about, you know, what, you know, where does happiness lie? Well, it deals with childhood, okay? The Six of Cups, it can. It doesn't have to, but it can. And a lot of people, not 100% of people though, a lot of people look back at their childhoods and they think back to how nice it was because it was so simple and there was, you know, uncomplicated, in other words, and innocent, free, a sense of freedom. And this is one of the traps that a lot of people get caught into, you know, where the trap of materialism, having to work long hours to afford all the stuff that they can't even use because they're busy working so much. So it's that kind of like a vicious circle. And even in relationships, sometimes when I'm looking at clients' charts, they have Saturn in the 7th house, okay? And that can indicate sometimes marrying somebody who is older and wealthy for the status of it, okay? And then you have this cold relationship, and you see it with trophy wives and, you know, celebrities who marry, you know, the man is looking for the looks, the woman is looking for the money and the prestige, and they don't have a real relationship, and they're still unhappy. But they have a lot of money, you know, and once you separate out those things, you realize what's important, and then you don't need to distract yourself, you know, with all these activities and all these excess things, because you're already happy. When you're happy, you don't have to, and you know, you can travel for the enjoyment of the stimulation of it, but you know, taking cruises, a lot of times it's not even about, you know, the culture and you know, investigating the culture. It's about just the luxury of just indulgence. And you don't need to do that when you feel happy every day. You don't have to go overboard. You're just happy as it is. And so that's what this card represents in terms of the two people. It's like they're recognizing, you know, them, each other on a spiritual level. This could be a soulmate connection. So it's saying, go for the soulmate. If you have a choice, go for the soulmate. And I'm not even saying that this reading is about choice, because I don't have any twos or anything like that. It could just be about, I mean, but life is always about choice. So it might not be a dilemma. It just might be about the direction that you want to go in. The outcome is the Page of Cups. And these are, speaking of water signs. Actually, I always associate this with Pisces because this is a card of artistic tendencies, maybe psychic ability as well, but definitely somebody who is very, it does kind of go along with that. There's an innocence about this person, almost like a downright gullibility, if you want to know the truth, if they don't watch it, if they don't get carried away with, not using their discrimination and seeing things as they really are. This person can be very susceptible to somebody, fooling them. But I feel like for some of you, this is actually you, because if you are artistic, which Libra is ruled by Venus, you may, decide to embrace that aspect of yourself in a very open way. And maybe that is kind of like, it's a stark contrast to a money manager, but somebody who, and maybe you don't leave your job if you have something that's totally opposed to that. Maybe you don't leave it right now, but you start seeing yourself as that. And you're open to what life brings you. You don't have the preconceived notions. You're just totally trying to go to a place that is satisfying to your soul, not just to your bodily desires. And it can also point to a relationship that's based on that as well. That is based on kind of that soul level connection. So anyway, that's interesting. Now I'm going to pull an oracle card. And did I show you the back of these? It's always nice to see the back. I always love color so much that I'm drawn to cards that, like these tarot cards by the Morgan Greer deck. That's what these are. And I'm always drawn to these because of all the vivid colors. If you notice, these are borderless cards. So that's what separates them from some of the other decks. Okay. Diana, focused, intention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. I'm going to read from the book only because since I just got these, I don't know all of the key parts to it, and I just want to, I'm not going to read, what she represents. But she's the moon goddess of, the hunter. Move forwards with unwavering faith, knowing that the universe is supporting you. Diana is helping you awaken your divine ability to manifest what you deserve. Any fear is only a reminder that whatever you are working on or through is an important issue for your growth. Your focus is strong now and will be particularly powerful at the full moon. Oh, I didn't mention the full moon. There's going to be one in the sign of Cancer. And for you, that's your 10th house, isn't it? I think so, yeah. Yeah, because the 11th would be Virgo. No, what am I talking about? The 11th would be Leo. And the 12th would be Virgo, yeah. So that's your 10th house. So full moon in the 10th, it could bring, recognition to you in your career. The career is the 10th house is the top of the chart, so it's kind of like this, center stage type of a thing. Sometimes the full moons are times when, you really come into your own. Sometimes there's endings where you end whatever it is that the house represents. But sometimes it's like you come into the spotlight and you're acknowledged, and that could, boost your money too in a indirect way. Your focus, okay, the powerful at the full moon. You may be aware of night owl tendencies. This is because your angels and guides are sending you important messages that you may be missing during the day due to a busy schedule. Set some time aside to do a deep meditation to receive the guidance. Okay, well, it's interesting, isn't it? So, anyway, take care, you guys. Have a wonderful new year for those listening before the 1st. And if you'd like a private reading, click on the link below. Otherwise, take care. Bye.